What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and welcome back to our final how-to weapons guide for Monster Hunter Wilds. And today we're talking about the light bowgun. Now, compared to the heavy bowgun, I think the light bowgun is much easier to use. I actually think it's one of the easiest weapons in the game to just pick up and run with. Similarly, it does seem a little bit daunting when you consider ammo types and all that, but honestly, we have excellent mobility, and most of this weapon is just running circles around the monster while we pepper it with various shots and get some pretty sick kills. So let's jump in and talk about it. And start hopping over to the equipment info. We can see that this bowgun has infinite, normal 2, pierce 1, and spread 1. We have wyvern blast. Unless they added something new, all light bowguns get wyvern blast. Over here, we can see that our normal, our spread, and our thunder are rapid fire. Now we're going to talk about that in a second because rapid fire works fundamentally different in Wilds. But besides that, we have access to paralysis ammo, freeze ammo, armor ammo, trank, etc. And the capacity shows how many we can shoot before we have to reload. Now, talking about rapid fire. Previously, light bowguns just had rapid fire, and a couple things have changed. One, normal ammo by default now is rapid fire, regardless of bowgun. And light bowguns have an energy mode when they press B. When we press this, we go into our energy mode. And now you can see those 3 rapid fire ammos we have, and we're able to pop shot those with rapid fire. So taking normal, which already has rapid fire, you can see it does 5. If I'm out of energy mode, it's just going to do a 3-shot burst. So it gets more rapid fiery. Now, with light bowgun in particular, we do have something called a chaser shot. After any shot, you can press B to do a quick chaser shot. Because there's a little bit of downtime on that, the way I like to work it in is 3 shots, and then right as the clip's going to empty, I fire off the chaser. I also don't think it's worth using in rapid fire mode, and let me show you why. It's a lot of reload. So, I don't know. I'm still debating if it's worth using in rapid fire mode. I mean, you can dodge out of it, and I think if we get slide reload at some point, it might be. But it is a long downtime on one knee, and that's a commitment that I don't really like making with light bowgun. But either way, if you're going to use chaser shots, I would suggest using them at the end of your clip, because otherwise you get something that's like this. And I don't know. That doesn't seem like it's going to be very high DPS to me, especially when you consider the reload and anything else. Now, besides that, our wyvern blast, you just aim and you shoot it. It does have a little bit of an arc to it, so you need to worry about aiming it up unless you're shooting far, but there is a bit of an AoE factor there. Significantly easier to hit wound breaks with this compared to heavy bowgun. And then the last thing is our special ammo. From hitting YB, we place a wyvern blast down. And when you place that down, if the monster hits that, he's going to take damage. Alternatively, you just shoot within range of it, and you're going to explode it, causing damage to the monster, which can be quite useful just to add some extra damage into your mix. The only other thing is critical distance, which we covered in bow as well as the heavy bowgun. But just to talk about critical distance, anytime you're aiming, you want to make sure that you have the orange reticle. You can see right now that's not critical. That's not going to do good damage. Boom. It's orange. I'm getting good damage. So you always want that reticle orange. And that's actually going to change depending on the ammo type you're using. So keep that in mind. Something like pierce typically wants you to be farther away. Something like spread typically wants you to be closer up to the enemy. And that's going to be about it for light bowgun. Like I said, this is probably one of the easiest weapons in the game to use. Typically when you're playing light bowgun, you have like 2 or 3 ammos that you're going to be using for most of your hunts. Like this hunt, I'm probably going to toss out some paralysis. I'm going to pepper them up with thunder, and then if thunder runs out, I'm going to go to normal 2. And yeah, that's it. You just deal damage. You run circles around the monster. There's no offsets or perfect dodges or clashes or anything really to worry about. You put down your wyvern blast, you run circles around it, and you pump it full of bullets. Let's go ahead and start the hunt up. We'll get the weather nice again, and we'll head on out.
Commencing quest now. Are you prepared?
All right.
A supply shipment's come in. Hope you
So I'm gonna prep up paralysis. I'm gonna put paralysis right at the start. Usually I'm gonna get the monster, get a wyvern blast down, and then I'll paralyze him, and then from there I'll go into rapid fire. We'll start messing him up with thunder. You can also shoot the weapon while mounted. This applies to both bowguns. We're not going to be doing any of that. We're not big game hunting today. We got that weak point. And you can see if I'm not doing the chaser shot, I feel rapid fire just works better without it. I feel like I'd rather just expend through my rapid fire gauge while I have it and then get back to chasing afterwards. Got a weak point. It's just shoot, shoot, chaser shot. No chaser shot there, because I knew I'd have to dodge in a second. We got reload back. We're gonna put that on and start peppering. This is almost out. That's fine. We're gonna go to normal ammo as soon as it runs out. Look at this poor little thing. It's just like, please stop shooting me. Bullets hurt. I don't want any more. And it's down. Yeah, I think, especially compared to heavy bowgun, I think this is significantly easier. I mean, you're just... We're running circles around the monster. It can barely hit you. You know, the time you are most vulnerable is when you decide, oh, I'm gonna do a chaser shot and I'm locked down briefly. Like outside of that, man, you're just boom, 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 boom. You're just pumping full of bullets. You're running circles behind it, and yeah, it's a pretty fun play style. And especially, I think the nice thing about gunning is if there's a monster that's a pain in the ass, and you're having trouble dodging specific attacks it's doing or whatever the case is, you just pull out a heavy bowgun or a light bowgun, you're going to get the job done. So either way, we're going to wrap this one up here. In terms of like proper starter guides for the game, that would be something I would say for launch after I'm able to jump into various camp mechanics and figuring out how to set up supply, production, and whatnot. But rest assured, I'll have plenty of material for this game coming at launch. I plan on doing a full playthrough, starter guides. I'm going to be streaming it constantly. Like, I'm absolutely in love with what I've had a chance to experience in this beta. So I'm very, very much looking forward to launch. Thanks for coming on by, and I'll catch you next time.